And welcome to Sports Talk UK. I'm here with Alfie Warren from Box Office Promotions. Alfie, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. I see yourself. Okay.
I'm not too bad, thanks. Alfie, so this week it was released that Wembley Stadium will hold the Carl Froch versus George Groves rematch. Wembley Stadium. Do you think it'll replicate the Frank Warren's Frank Bruno promotion that many years ago?
I mean, years ago it was a massive deal. I think with Frank Bruno fighting Oliver McCall at Wembley Stadium. I mean, I think it created probably a different kind of buzz. I mean, Frank Bruno was a hugely popular fighter, and I think even more popular than Carl Froch and George Groves. I mean, he was a nice fella and all that. So I think a lot of people went there in support of Frank. But yeah, it's the same kind of buzz around it. I think obviously because Frank went in to fight Oliver McCall, it was just a straight world title fight. I think it might have been his third world title attempt. I think it was third time lucky, and I suppose it was. I think Frank was coming towards the end of his career, and it was just like third time lucky, I suppose. And yeah, it was. But I think the difference between this and Carl Froch and George Groves was the controversy from the first fight, which is selling, and controversy does sell. Because I mean, obviously, I think even though it was a great fight, Carl Froch, George Groves. Even though it was a great fight the first time around, I think if it would have had a clear decision at the MEN and they did have a rematch, you wouldn't create this sort of attraction. So I mean, I think it's more the situation with the controversy, more so than the boxers. Really, I think because you didn't get an outcome the last fight. It was a great fight, and I think people are going to see a fair outcome this time. So, I mean, I feel sorry for both of them. Like with Carl Froch and George Groves, because they were both robbed of a fair outcome. So, come this night, I suppose you're going to see it. But as comparisons to Frank Bruno, I suppose you're living in a different time now as well. I think with the social media and so on, and satellite TV and all that sort of stuff, and more people have got access to tune into these sort of fights, that more people are aware of the sport now, even though it wasn't it was big back then, obviously. But I think the public have got more access to it with the sort of pay-per-view and all sorts. So yeah, I think I don't think. Like Wembley Stadium, it should. I don't think it will come. I think it will come close to selling that. 80,000 people, big ass. But if the promotion goes well, obviously, then we'll just see what happens in the build-up. I mean, obviously, but it's a good fight for the British public, and hope it all goes well.
I mean, you've got Carl Froch, for example. Let's say the hype is also based around the Carl Froch. It could be his last fight, depending on if he gets beat by George Groves. George Groves will then be classed as champion, so obviously that's going to sell massively as well in regards to the millions and millions of pounds that's going to be made.
Well, exactly. I mean, if Carl Froch did lose against George Groves, I don't think he has any shame in losing to George Groves, because in my opinion, I think George is the next big thing in British boxing, to be honest with you, and he proved that against Carl Froch, who's a proven champion. So I mean, to lose to an up-and-coming fighter of George Groves' pedigree is nothing to be ashamed of. And I mean, if it was to be his last fight, well, way to go out in front of 80,000 people. But as you know, Carl Froch, I mean, I can be critical of Carl Froch sometimes, but the one thing I do give Carl Froch is that he does go out and he's shield. And so no matter what the outcome is going to be, you know that Carl Froch is going to fight to the end. So yeah.
I mean, if you look at the comparisons between the Matchroom and obviously you've got Frank Warren promotions as well, do you see that, you know, if you like, Matchroom are starting to storm away with it in regards to they've got people like Anthony Joshua, they've got other fighters in their camp as well? Do you think they're starting to run away with the boxing scene?
Well, I think really what it boils down to with Matchroom is the broadcasting channel. I think that Sky Sports obviously is a multi-sport channel. So you've got the football, you've got Formula One, you've got so-and-so. So a lot of people subscribe to that channel purely for, say, someone subscribes to it for football. The other sports come with it, so people have got access. So football fans would have access to the boxing, whereas BoxNation, where Frank has his show, is exclusively for boxing fans. And to be honest with you, I mean, Matchroom, I think Matchroom are very fortunate, really, that BoxNation has come about, because I'll tell you something, without BoxNation, you wouldn't have a Matchroom, and that is a fact, because I think Frank has gone over to create a TV channel, which he's always wanted to do. I've read past interviews with him in the 80s, and he's had a plan to do this sort of thing, create his own sports channel, and it's been years in the making, and this is what he's gone to do. This is what he wanted to do, and his journey's still continuing with BoxNation, which I think, and I'll tell you something, I mean, for 3 years, but it's been up for 3 years, and I just think, I think it's excellent value for money. I really, really do. I think you get access to so many great fights abroad, like Mayweather, Sauer, and the events and so on. But like I say, with Matchroom, without BoxNation, there is no Matchroom, because if Frank wouldn't have gone off to create BoxNation, Frank would still be #1 on Sky Sports book. So I think that's where it is. And I mean, you get these fighters that fought for Frank before, and they're going. When he was with Sky Sports, Frank, he was the best thing you could have. He was the best thing since sliced bread. Every single fighter had, oh yeah, Frank, this, that, they're the best promotional banner, or whatever. They go over to BoxNation, which they did take a huge risk. Frank did take a huge risk, but that's what he's all about, Frank. That's what he always is about, and he always does pull off what he does. So I mean, don't ever count him out. He's nowhere near yet off the radar. But I think with these boxers, but now all of a sudden, with Matchroom becoming Sky Sports' new promoter, down to Frank creating BoxNation, fighters are turning the other way, and it's not that they don't want to admit. I mean, you get some guys, I want to fight on Sky Sports, but now they're just turning their back in it, because obviously it's a promotional rival. So now boxers are actually think that now they want to blame Frank and the promoter now. But if Frank was with Sky Sports still, you would still be, and I'll guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt, that not one of those boxers would have even left Frank. Not one of those boxers wouldn't have said a bad word about him. It would have been, greatest thing since sliced bread. He wanted to take the risk, whether the boxers, some of them were maybe not as loyal, and some of them want to choose a path to go to Sky Sports instead of BoxNation, which is fair enough. I mean, it's your career, you do. But I mean, for them to make excuses and blame everyone but themselves, and saying it from front, and saying it's anything other than the broadcasting channel, I believe it's complete nonsense. But I mean, Frank's still riding high, really. I mean, he's got some great fighters in David Chisora, Tyson Fury's gone over to BoxNation now, Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, you've got some great up and coming talent, and that's the thing with Frank. And the thing with Frank is he will always produce the best British boxers. He knows how to nurture a boxer. He knows how to build a boxer up. He knows how to build a career steadily, and he knows how to do that. And that's one thing you can't take away from him. But as you say, for Matchroom, I think the attraction with Matchroom is not that they're a better promotional banner. It's because the boxers believe they are on the better broadcast platform, which is fair enough. But fair enough to Eddie Earn. I mean, he's been doing this for 3 years and so on. And what can I say? He's pulled off a massive fight like this early on in his career, and fair dues to him. So, but I think really, I still say that Frank's team are the best promotional team. They're the most experienced promotional team. And I think you're in better hands. I believe that you would be in better hands with Frank than you would be probably with Matchroom. That's in my humble opinion. I mean, I don't really know that much about the Matchroom staff and all that, but I know a lot about Frank's staff, obviously, and they're just a great team, and they're a great team. And I mean, really as well, I think when it comes down to it, you got. a young up-and-coming promoter like Eddie Hearn as well, I suppose people could probably relate to that kind of person now. He's all over the telly as well. He puts himself about a lot. So, I mean, good at what he does, gets the thanks. I mean, because what it is as well, as I say, Frank's been through it all as well. He's nearly lost it all. He's had high and lows all through his career, and he's still managed to get on there. And really, the test of the promotional company, the test of character, really, will be to see how Eddie Hearn would cope with the stress of something going wrong with the promotional company, with the stress of maybe going downhill and all that. Because I mean, his father did it, and his father packed up. Really, his father walked away from it, and Eddie really revived Matchroom sport. It was his son who revived it. I mean, but he's when the going got tough, his father probably did leave the scene. I mean, done the odd boxing show here and there or so on, but nothing ever major or nothing. I don't think ever going in for the big fights. But it's like you say, with the promotional rivalry, it's healthy and it keeps the sport alive. I think really, when it steams down to it, it's not Frank Warren versus Eddie Hearn promotional. It's Sky Sports versus BoxNation. That's what I always believe it to be. Yeah.
And lastly, on the regards to the Malta Boxing Association, how do you feel about that in regards to them?
Well, I attended a show, as you know, on Saturday, and to be honest with you, I was I was front row there and near all the judges and all that, and I didn't see any difference to how they run the show than how the Border Control run the show. Whether what happens behind the scene or nothing, it's a lot different. But they're sanctioned by the Boxing Union, the World Boxing Union. So I mean, yeah, the Boxing Union it is professional boxing. It's classed as professional boxing, so there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Whether the Border Control, the Border Control think that like they're licensed for them to be for them to decide who puts on a show on here or who doesn't. And to be honest with you, it's complete nonsense. They're not the law or anything like that. So really, if I can elaborate, I think that from what I see last Saturday, that was run exactly how the Border Control run it, and I didn't see any hiccups in it whatsoever. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all. And as regards to us, I think that the opportunity come arise for box office promotions to ever work with them, that's definitely an option we'll be looking at as well. And it's an option that we have been talking about to a couple of people from the Malta board as well. So I don't see anything wrong with it. So yeah, I think just let them get on with what they got to get on with. And
do you think that's going to happen soon? Teaming up with the Malta Boxing Board Association, do you think that's going to happen soon?
Well, I think that we're ready to go to the next level, whether it be us applying for the British Border Control licence or a Malta licence. But really, we will be definitely moving on to the next level. I think that we'll be moving on fairly soon. I think this probably will be our last year of doing unsanctioned fights by, we'll say unsanctioned by a governing body. This will probably be our last year.
Great stuff. Cheers, Alf. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.